Hi everyone, Libra Anarchy here with Bedhead, and I look like a wreck because I've been cleaning my house, and oh well, so I look like a wreck. I wanted to take a few minutes to weigh in on this whole Burn a Koran Day. I think it's happening on 9/12. As you can imagine, I'm not a fan of burning books, even though people have the quote right to burn books. That is to say, if you buy a book and you have the ability to burn it, there's no reason that I should, go in there and use force or something like that, or hire somebody else to use force to stop you from burning your property, if that's what you want to do. But if you must understand that as a symbolic gesture, what you're doing is burning ideas. And I'm not going to sit here and say, gosh, you don't have the right, or, well, we could get into semantics, what's a right anyway. Technically, the rights don't actually exist. Whatever, that's not important. But you realize when you're wasting your money and time on burning your things, especially things that represent ideas, it is a symbolic gesture of this idea ought to be destroyed, rather than just this book ought to be destroyed. This idea ought to be destroyed. And if you do think that an idea ought to be destroyed, you're entitled to your opinion. Certainly, I don't like Islam. I don't think it's a good way of living. It doesn't suit my values. I do not value a society where I have to be covered up and I can't leave the home without a man to quote protect me, and I would have to worry about being killed by my own family where I rape because of some kind of honor or something. I don't value a society like that. I don't like Islam. But I think a better way to combat those bad ideas, no matter what your ideas are, is to reserve a symbolic date, 9/11, 9/12, I don't care, to either one, argue the merits of your own ideas, whatever they may be. I know this pleasant preacher guy is a fundamentalist Christian. Why waste the time and money? Make a video on 9/12 or go out street preaching on 9/12 and argue the merits of your ideas. Of course, I don't think your ideas do have merit, but if they do, then they will stand up to scrutiny, yes? Or what you can do is argue against Islam. Why don't you think Islam has merit? What's wrong with Islam? Make a video, write a book. You can self-publish your own books. It's not necessarily, super easy, but if you write a book, you can get it self-published. So write a book about everything that's wrong with Islam. Or, what I am going to do I think I'll probably do this on 9/11 and 9/12, is I will expose myself to something I probably either wouldn't get around to reading or watching or something. I'll expose myself to something I wouldn't ordinarily expose myself to, so that I can learn something. And knowing me, I'm going to do it, I'm going to choose a subject matter that is somehow related to the real world. How to write better. The history of the English language. Different types of reasoning. Learn a little bit about the basics of philosophy, because I do actually want to take up the topic of anarchy, but when it comes to philosophical arguments, I'm a midget. I'm along the lines of, look, market anarchy is going to get me a better fucking hot dog. You know, I mean, I'm in a way the 100th monkey. I'm like, well, yeah, states are only propped up by ideas. When you have a monopoly on something such as law enforcement, the quality goes down, the price goes up. Taxation is ultimately under the threat of force, somebody forcing you to buy goods and services from this monopoly. Okay, fine, but philosophically speaking, I don't think that's going to convince a statist. So, you know, I could stand to learn a little bit more about philosophy itself. What I'm going to do is take that day to do something in which I educate myself about something real, or even if it's not real, even if it's something that's kind of theoretical and bizarre, like string theory or superstring theory or M theory, or it's something that at least you know, the math stands up. It's acknowledged by the scientific community. It's not like some kind of woo-woo thing like Islam, right? And I may even make a video about something, like at the end of the day I might say, well, I learned a little bit about this, and here's the link, and here's my summation of it. The point is, I'm going to go with Snowwalker 1's idea and use it as a jumping off point for just learning something new, and I'll call it, you know, Anti-Dogma Day or Edufucking Day or something like that. I mean, this crap about burning a Koran is useless. What's going to happen is people like Mr. Pleasant Preacher are going to get laughed at. They're going to get called rednecks, and if you're an atheist, secularist, humanist, skeptic, freethinker, etc., and you're still burning a Koran as a symbol of, you know, dogma like this is useless and stupid and it shouldn't be here, fine, but again, you're going to get pointed and laughed at, even by your compatriots. And Mr. Pleasant Preacher compared himself to the reformer Martin Luther, and certainly while Martin Luther had his flaws when he nailed his 99 tenets against the church door, he was risking his life. And Mr. Pleasant Preacher is just risking getting pointed and laughed at, and that's my cue to go. So I'm Lieber Anarchy.